It's another week and welcome to the program Doing Business in Ghana. The Association of Ghana Industries is a major player in the Ghanaian economy. Without the association, nothing can be done or nothing will work. They consist of manufacturers, exporters and industrialists who produce for the local economy. The current economic challenges confronting the country, members of AGI feel it more and consumers most. But is that the case? Well, today on Doing Business in Ghana, we're focusing on the Association of Ghana Industries. And my guest is the Chief Executive, Seth Twum Akwaboah. Welcome, Mr. Akwaboah.
Thank you very much.
How united is the front of AGI?
AGI has always been very united. We have different categories of members. We have small, medium, large enterprises. In our categorization, we have about 10 different categories. You have the very big companies, the likes of the Unilevers, the Nestle's, the Cadbury's, and then you have very small enterprises as well. At all these levels, we are very united. We have different sectors operating at different levels as well. The sectors come together, they do their own business, they discuss their issues of common interest, and we try and do advocacy on their behalf. They are also very united. So in a particular group, you could have big companies, small companies, all interacting, to solve their mutual problems. So AGI has always been very united, and I think it is what has created AGI as a strong force in advocacy in Ghana.
The economic partnership for agreement seem to have divided the front of AGI. Is that the case? Is that true?
Absolutely no. It's never true. AGI's front has never been divided. We appreciate the fact that we have exporters who are going to lose a lot if we don't sign the agreement, because this current state, if you don't sign it, it means that they're going to have a lot more taxes imposed on their exports, and it will make them uncompetitive. So they fear that they will lose the market. And if they lose the market, the number of people they're employing, the investment they've made, the products they are churning out, we are going to lose all of that. So it's a challenge for them. On the other hand, you also have local manufacturers who fear that, considering the current business environment, the challenges we have, borrowing at high interest costs, the problem with electricity, cost of production generally is high. And therefore, as a country, we are not that competitive. And therefore, if you open the floodgate and you have imports from well-developed countries like Europe competing with you in your own local market without any taxes on it, then they also have a challenge. So both sides are right. They both have challenges. And I think this is where we come in, to negotiate and discuss with government to take the right decisions, which will be in the best interest of the country. So we are not divided at all. But you can have different groups, arguing differently because they are in different positions.
Has the AGI taken a position on the EPA in terms of should it be signed or should it not be signed?
I think our discussion so far has been that let's review it critically. And I remember in our previous discussions, we also indicated that we didn't even have the latest version of the EPA. So what are we signing? Okay. And therefore, we requested for the latest version, which will enable us to take a decision as to whether we should support the signing or not.
Have you seen it?
Now it's been given to us, but we are now reviewing it. But our position is that whatever it is, let's look at, in situations like this, in typical global policy development, there are always losers and winners. But in the end, you must all become winners. So how do you turn the losers into winning situation? And that is, you look at their situation and see whatever measures you would implement to make sure that their suffering is ameliorated, and then they become competitive. So in both sides, you can look at it and really make an impact if you want. And that is what we've been discussing.
Now, I want to ask you, what kind of relationship have you built with government as an association?
Oh, I think we've been working very closely with government, and in fact with all governments, because by law, AGI even serves on a number of institutions. If you take the polytechnics, for example, or the 10 polytechnics, by law, we are supposed to be serving on it to influence policy at those levels. We serve a number of boards and institutions to bring industry's perspective to bear. We discuss a lot with central government, And by central government, I mean Ministry of Trade in particular. Most times when policies are being developed, we have to be engaged somehow. We've been talking to Bank of Ghana on issues relating to, our currency. We've been talking to Ministry of Finance when the budget is going to be prepared. In fact, on a yearly basis, we make inputs into government budget statement. And these are all regular engagements we normally have. We discuss a lot with Ministry of Agric. We've been talking to Ministry of Private Sector Development. We serve on the EPA board. So we've been interacting with government at different levels and on different activities and projects.
And is the AGI, for instance, satisfied with the level of response that it receives from these engagements, these contributions that you make to policy development and policy formulation?
I think accessibility to institutions and government functionaries have not been bad. Because as I said, we have the opportunity of making input at different levels. The challenge we've had, though, is that when policies have been developed and agreed, implementation is always an issue, either because we probably don't have the resources to implement them effectively, or we don't have the right caliber of professionals to make it work, or we are not disciplined enough, in certain circles, in certain institutions, to make sure that the things we've agreed on is followed through, or the kind of punitive measures that has to be in place to make it work. It's not working that well. So that is what I would say, that implementation of some of the measures have been a challenge. And for example, we all agree that industrialization is key for our development, because the manufacturing sector in particular creates a large number of jobs. And yet we have a situation where we have a policy concerning duties when you are importing goods into the country. Unfortunately, some are able to import the goods into the country and undercut, pay much less duty than they are supposed to pay, because they are able to maneuver the system. That is not good enough, because then it makes your local companies less and less competitive, because goods are coming in at a very cheap price. And there are countless examples. So situations like that are not good. But that has to do with the implementation. And implementation is done at different levels by various governments, ministries and agencies and departments and individuals. And here it's not just the head of the institution, but even individuals on the ground who are implementing some of these policies. I think we've had challenges with some of them.
How big and influential is the AGI in Ghanaian economy, in policy formulation?
Well, AGI is big and very influential. First of all, it's an organization that is quite old. We always say we're only one year younger than Ghana. So you can imagine. And the fact that we have members across 20 different sectors. So all the key sectors of business activities are members of AGI. So the textiles and garments, the food processing, wood processing, metal sector, all these key manufacturing activities are members of AGI. And then we also have some services, very important services that impact on industry, are the financial services. We have banks, insurance companies, non-bank financial institutions that are all members of AGI. We have advertising association that is a member of AGI. We have the timber millers association. So we cut across different sectors, and that makes you big, because if you are influencing policy, or if you are advocating on any policy, and you have this clout, these big numbers of companies, and most of the well-organized companies in Ghana, especially in the manufacturing side, are members of AGI. So when you are speaking on behalf of large sector or segment of the Ghanaian society that is controlling so much resources, that is employing so many people, that is contributing so much taxes and duties into the country development. So, I mean, how else can you be than being very big and strong advocacy organization? So that makes us big. But I think what also makes us important and influential is the fact that over the years we've managed to develop a certain level of capacity of engaging government and engaging policymakers, because we have a large number of people who have expertise, who have knowledge in their fields of work. I've mentioned all these sectors and the companies we are managing. And if there's any issue, you can just call some of them. And the kind of expertise they will bring to bear, you can imagine how powerful it will be. So it makes the association quite powerful. Geographically, we are also quite widespread. We are in every part of the country. In fact, we have 6 regional offices, permanent secretariat with officers and all that. But our membership cuts across the whole country. And we've met some of the regions and have an office. For example, if you go to the north, we have an office in Tamale, 7, the 3 northern regions. But then you have members in all the regions, the regional capitals in particular, and even some in the districts. So you are commanding large number of businesses in the country. And therefore, when you speak, you are speaking with a loud voice. And that is what makes us influential. The other thing I would also quickly add is that it's not a question of making noise. It's evidence-based advocacy that we try to do. Evidence-based in the sense that you try to back your advocacy with the necessary data, information, and statistics and facts that makes your argument strong. And when you argue or you advocate on that basis, it is difficult for your issues to be rejected. And that is what makes us important.
You're still watching Doing Business in Ghana. My guest is the Chief Executive of the Association of Ghana Industries, Mr. Seth Twum Akwaboah. For most Ghanaians, owning their own homes has been impossible for various reasons. Let us introduce you to Kingdom Capital Ghana Limited, a real estate and building construction firm with your safety and security at heart. Kingdom Capital has within the Kingdom City Enclave litigation-free serviced plots available for sale at Katapo Kwabenya, Ayi Mensa near Pediase Lodge, Amanfrom, Dentra, Eburi, Somanya near Akuse Junction, Gomwa near White Sands, Dawenya near Central University, Kwekrum near Ojobi, and Ademan near Pukwase. The other good news is we have special discounted rates for groups. The prices are affordable. You can call or visit any of our offices at Dansoman near Datu School. Reach us on 0302 327 941 or at Wager on 0501 339 701. You may also pick a form and make payments at any Capital Line Microfinance branches at Mataheko, Dansoman, Bubuashi, Eburi, or Insawam, or reach us on 0302 327 941 or 0501 339 706. 0501 339 717 for more details. You can also log on to our website www.kingdomcityaccra.com. Kingdom City, combination of comfort and secure lifestyle.
Life affords everyone many opportunities for self-advancement. Just a few can see. Take your business to the next level. You define how and where you want to take it and leave the rest for us to do. For all your business, trade and finance loans, personal loans, educational and rent advance loans, investment advisory services, talk to Capital Line Investments Limited. We offer very competitive interest rates and give you the best customer services in processing your loan facilities. Stop groaning in the dark. Take that step and come to us for your life-changing and transforming moments. Contact us on 030-7032-201, 030-7032-202, 030-2320-663, 050-1339-708. Send us an email on capitalline.invest@gmail.com or visit our website www.capitallinegroup.com. Capital Line Investments Limited, your total solutions point for your financial challenges.
Mr. Akwaboah, what has the AGI seen in terms of how the economy is being managed and where it's heading to?
There are challenges in the economy, and I think, as you are aware, the cedi depreciation has become a major issue for most businesses, especially manufacturers who are importing raw materials, because by the time you finish importation of the raw materials, produce, sell, and get your money, you are paying more cedis. You need more cedis to exchange for the same amount of dollars. So that has an effect. And fuel prices have gone up a couple of times. Electricity prices have gone up. So all these have effects, because anything that adds to the cost of production or cost of doing business makes you less and less competitive in your environment. So it's not been an easy business environment in recent times.
You spoke about the issue of productivity and also having representatives on some of the polytechnic boards and all that. Government also talks about the issue of productivity and matching it with revenue and salary levels and all that. From the AGI's perspective, what analysis have you done in terms of our productivity in this country?
Well, I think the level of productivity determines the level of efficiency in your operations. And in the private sector, you can't toy with productivity. You can't employ people who are not adding value or adding to the output that you're expecting. You have to take them out, because you are in a very competitive environment, and any inefficiency could not be passed on to your consumer or your customer, because others are there to immediately take your market. So in the private sector, you tend to be more efficient. However, you are still constrained even in the private sector, because productivity and efficiency is also determined by the business environment and the technology you use. If you are not using efficient technology, you cannot be that productive. If you are using manual to do things and there is another company in another country using automated system with a very efficient system, then you have a challenge. So the environment itself is contributing to the less productive nature of our operations. If you have electricity going off, and you can't plan your activities for so well, then it affects productivity level. But I think when it comes to labor, because we have different levels of productivity, we have machine, technology, and so on. But when it comes to labor productivity, I think that the government sector really has a challenge. And I agree that if government is considering that as a part of the issue, I think it has to be looked at. And I think that we would like to see a more productive and efficient public sector, because you need an efficient public sector to drive the private sector along.
Is the private sector still the engine of growth?
I still think so. I mean, the private sector is so critical for our development. Large number of our people are employed in the private sector. How many public sector employees do we have? And government itself doesn't want to employ that many, because it cannot be an efficient manager of human resource in that context. So you need to empower the private sector to rather employ. Except that what we need to do to fuel that engine to really create the growth that we need is where the challenge normally is, and that's what we need to be looking at.
Great, because I was just going to ask you, what aren't we doing right to get the private sector where it wants to be?
Well, there are so many issues. I think as a country, we first of all need a very clear development plan, which we follow through to the latter. A clear agenda that every government that comes into being pursues, regardless of, you may have your own management style to become more efficient and improve productivity to facilitate the growth. But the key pillars of our development plans should be there, and it should be clearly agreed by all the citizens. I think that we've not had that kind of clear development plan and development agenda. And for me, that is something that is missing. And we need to look at it if we want to see real growth in our economy. And then we need to look at our technology also. If we want to industrialize this country, we can't leave out the issue of power. Energy is so critical. So let's provide the kind of energy that we need to power and provide, enough energy resources to our industries. That is something. So the fundamentals have to be right. If you get the fundamentals right, and then our macroeconomic environment is also very critical, we need to be able to get it right. We can't have depreciation of the city all the time. Some amount of depreciation may be necessary to encourage exports, but you should be able to maintain it within certain range so that planning is possible by the private sector. So macroeconomic stability is critical for your development. And then also the whole orientation about Ghanaians in general, that we can only develop our country ourselves. And therefore, let's work hard. Let's have that zeal to work hard and make sure that we churn out what it is, what is good for us.
For most Ghanaians, owning their own homes has been impossible for various reasons. Let us introduce you to Kingdom Capital Ghana Limited, a real estate and building construction firm with your safety and security at heart. Kingdom Capital has within the Kingdom City Enclave litigation-free serviced plots available for sale at Katapo Kwabenya, Ayi Mensa near Pediase Lodge, Amanfrom, Dentra, Eburi, Somanya near Akuse Junction, Gomwa near White Sands, Dawenya near Central University, Kwekrum near Ojobi, and Ademan near Pukwase. The other good news is we have special discounted rates for groups. The prices are affordable. You can call or visit any of our offices at Dansoman near Datu School. Reach us on 0302 327 941 or at Wager on 0501 339 701. You may also pick a form and make payments at any Capital Line Microfinance branches at Mataheko, Dansoman, Bubuashi, Eburi, or in Sawam, or reach us on 0302 327 941 or 0501 339 706. 0501 339 717 for more details. You can also log on to our website www.kingdomcityaccra.com. Kingdom City, combination of comfort and secure lifestyle.
Life affords everyone many opportunities for self-advancement. Just a few can see. Take your business to the next level. You define how and where you want to take it and leave the rest for us to do. For all your business, trade and finance loans, personal loans, educational and rent advance loans, investment advisory services, talk to Capital Line Investments Limited. We offer very competitive interest rates and give you the best customer services in processing your loan facilities. Stop groaning in the dark. Take that step and come to us for your life-changing and transforming moments. Contact us on 030-7032-201, 030-7032-202, 030-2320-663, 050-1339-708. Send us an email on capitalline.invest@gmail.com or visit our website www.capitallinegroup.com. Capital Line Investments Limited, your total solutions point for your financial challenges.
With these things or pointers that you've elaborated upon, a clear-cut development plan that is bipartisan, whichever government is in power, party is in power, would follow through to get Ghana where it wants to be. Within this, what role do you see the AGI playing? Because you're very critical to the development of a country.
You need the likes of AGR to point out to government and the policy makers and say, this one is not going on well, this one should be done this way, this should be done that way, and then together we can streamline things and make it work better.
Do you sometimes get the impression or the feeling that all the effort that you're putting into get policies formulated, good policies formulated, are sometimes not taken seriously?
There are a number of policies that we have been involved in developing or formulating, which have worked reasonably well. There are others also that indeed have not worked well at all, because implementation never started, or it started in a cagey way and it's never going on well. So we have both scenarios, and what we try to do is always bring out the ones that have not been well implemented for whatever reason. We bring it to the attention of policymakers and say, this has still been there, we needed to implement it this way, but it's still not taken off the way we expected.
Mr. Akwaboah, let me be blunt and ask, is the Ghanaian economy being managed well as we speak now?
Well, it's not for me to judge, it's for everyone to assess it, and you could say whether it's managed well or not. For me, as a representative of industry, what I can say is that there are challenges in the economy, and we think that the challenges has to be dealt with so that we can become competitive. And being competitive is so critical because you have an environment where you have lots of imports coming into your country from different parts of the world, from your own neighboring countries, from Asia, from wherever. So if you are not competitive, you gradually lose your own market. And I think that is what is happening today. If you look at the volume of imports that come into the country, we are becoming, import-dependent country. And that is not good enough. And that is why, with the slightest hit, our CD depreciates. So those aspects have to be looked at. And I think it is critical that we look at the business environment, look at the economy, and make sure that it's stable, properly managed.
Does the AGI feel that government went to sleep, or government is sleeping?
I wouldn't say government is sleeping. We see government working all the time. But you can get it wrong.
The indicators are not adding up.
Yes, so it doesn't mean you are sleeping. It probably means that a few things are not going right. And so we need to identify the things that are not going right, and let's make sure that we turn it around and make sure that those things go right.
Government sits with AGI, or AGI sits with government to interact. And with all these things which are clearly not going right, what is AGI telling government, and how is government responding to some of these things?
Well, I think that what is important, as I've been mentioning, is that there must be a platform for engagement. And at those platforms, you express your views, you are able to interact with key policy makers, let them know the challenges that you are facing, the effect of certain measures on the economy, and so on and so forth. And once that is done, what you expect to see is implementation. And the implementation, sometimes there are challenges in the implementation itself. In the course of it, you must also point it out and make sure that those issues are brought to bear as well. So we have been playing that role actively, and indeed we've had several engagements with government at different levels. Some of the policies or some of the measures, for example, when the CD depreciation became worse and Bank of Ghana put in some measures.
The directives, yeah.
Yes, we quickly organized to meet with the Bank of Ghana, and indeed they gave us audience. So we had the Minister for Finance, Minister for Trade, the Bank of Ghana, the Deputy Governor. We had a good meeting. After that, they also appreciated our point of view, industry's point of view on some of the measures. And, a few days down the line, they relaxed some of them. So it meant that they listened. And we all decided that we'll monitor to see the effect of it, whether the rest of the measures that is still in place, whether it will make positive impact. And we are monitoring. We are still seeing challenges because the CD is still falling. And access
but
to
as
the
they
foreign
say, dancing as on
well, access to the foreign currency is still a challenge. So we are still monitoring, and at the appropriate time we engage them again. And that is how policy advocacy is all about. You don't expect that whatever you say is taken. it's not all the time that you get your issues fully taken. But when you are very strong in your views and you have the facts and the evidence to back it, you expect that there will be positive response.
Mr. Seth Twum Akwaboah, it's been wonderful hosting you on the show.
Thank you.
And we appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Nice one.
Thank you. Great.
That was Mr. Seth Twum Akwaboah, Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Ghana Industries, on doing business in Ghana. My name is Sena Atoklo. Thank you.